Welcome back. I'm Rachel and you're watching Kalkine TV live from Sydney. This is the last trade, the last show of today on Kalkine TV. Let's get started with the market close commentary. ASX 200 gives up morning gains, closing flat. The market traded in the positive zone today. By the closing bell, the benchmark index ASX 200 traded 0.24% higher. The index traded 17 points and traded at 7,081.70. The majority of sectors today traded higher. IT and energy sectors added to the ASX 200 gains, whereas consumer staples declined the most. The top 5 gainer slot was filled mainly by companies from the materials sector. Nickel Mines, Ramelius Resources, Resolute Mining and WestGold Resources were up in today's trade. Resolute Mining unveiled its quarterly report for the period ending 31st of March 2021. Despite the pandemic-related challenges, the safety performance for the quarter remained steady, with the total recordable injury frequency rate of 0.96 during the last year. Resolute Mining's March quarter performance stood at 85,608 ounces of $1,239 an ounce. It was underpinned by a consistent performance at the Mako gold mine and improved performance of Syama gold mine's sulphide operation. Syama's sulphide gold production was recorded at its highest since 2016. For the March quarter, it stood at 37,217 ounces. Syama oxide production surged by 44% on the previous quarter. Resolute Mining stated that its focus for the current year remains cash generation, operational consistency and debt repayment. Resolute shares gained 4.838%. Moving on now, shares of Ramelius Resources closed 9.2% lower at $1.62.5 a piece on Wednesday, even after the company managed to meet the gold production target for the March 2021 quarter. The fall was in line with other ASX-listed gold stocks, which were under selling pressure in an otherwise positive broader market sentiment. However, today Ramelius Resources shares bounced back and were trading 6.46% higher at $1.73. Now let's take a look at some COVID-19 updates. For the second time this week, the number of COVID-19 cases in New South Wales from overseas are in double digits. 15 cases were found related to hotel quarantine, which is the second highest number since January. Last Thursday, also 18 cases were recorded. In the last 7 days, a total of 64 overseas cases were found. In Western Australia, the State Disaster Council will meet today to take a decision on whether to ease the restrictions at the weekend or not. No new local cases were reported in Western Australia. Only 4 cases today were found in hotel quarantine, all related to India, where the second wave has shaken the country. Meanwhile, Fed support takes the Asian shares higher. As anticipated, US Fed said on Thursday that it's too early to take the emergent support back from the economy. Despite keeping an optimistic view of the US economic recovery, the US Central Bank kept its bond buying program and interest rates unchanged. Furthermore, US President Joe Biden talked about his plan for a $1.8 trillion stimulus package for education and families. Amid all the government's support, Asian shares traded in the positive territory on Thursday. Asia Pacific shares MSCI's broadest index outside Japan increased by 0.1%. Taiwan shares were up by 0.48%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng index was up 0.7%. Seoul's KOSPI gained by 0.37%, and in early trade, China's blue chip CSI 300 index was up by 0.65%. Amid a holiday in Japanese markets, Nikkei futures inched up by 0.05%. The dollar fell against the yen and euro. Oil prices continue to rise. Spot gold gained by 0.42%. As per the government data released today, Vietnam's coffee exports for the initial 4 months of the year is expected to decline by 17.6% as against the previous year, while rice exports is anticipated to be down by 10.8%. Moving on now, let's have a look at the market movers today. First stock, Baldwin Life Sciences announced positive results from an independent study to assess the Baldwin autoantibody assay for the detection of ovarian cancer using the Baldwin kit on the Luminex platform. The research was evaluated by the Muscosol Immunology Research Group of Griffith University. They assess the Bardwan kit alone and in combination with CA125 for detection of ovarian cancer in 241 samples, comprising 160 ovarian patient samples and 81 healthy control samples. Data from both studies identified 3 consistent Bardwan peptides that were best able to discriminate ovarian cancer from controls. Bardwan Life Sciences shares gained by 3.896%. To the next stock now. Financial research firm Citi stated that St Barbara looks attractive after the 8% sell-off on Wednesday. As per the Refinitiv data, Citi has upgraded the stock to a buy from a neutral and raised PT to $2.40 from $2.30 per share. St Barbara shares tanked on Wednesday and it's cut its gold output forecast for financial year 2021. However, the brokerage calls stock high risk, citing recent operational difficulties, declining grades at key asset Juala in WA, and St Barbara shares were up by 1.069%. Moving on now, the share price of Cedarwoods Properties rose as much as 4.532% to $7.38 per share at midday today. The real estate development firm upgraded their MPAC guidance to $32 million, up from earlier outlook of $29 million and $20.9 million recorded in financial year 2020. The contracts are at a record high of $426 million in the third quarter, up 17% on last year. Their shares gained by 5.66%. Meanwhile, on Thursday, the research stated the withdrawal of a $2.2 billion bid for Link Administration Holdings opens the path for a higher bid. Citi retained the buy rating on the stock. Link had shared on Wednesday that a consortium which included the Carlyle Group and Pacific Equity Partners had withdrawn its $2.87 billion offer. Link Administration indicated its 44% stake in online real estate firm PEXA has stoked a higher bid interest. Citi reckons that a price equivalent to at least $2.5 billion and potentially more for 100% of PEXA is achievable. Link shares gained by 3.03%. The next stock, shares of Woolworths fell as much as 3.6% to $39.91 on Thursday. Australia's biggest supermarket chain posted a small rise in its third quarter sales, suggesting an end to the pandemic-driven stockpiling of essentials seen last year. Total sales in March quarter rose 0.7% to $16.57 million, even as supermarket sales in Australia dipped 4.7%. Chief Executive Brad shared that customer shopping behaviours are slowly normalising. The company expects sales to decline over the March-June period for all businesses other than hotels. Woolworths is the biggest percentage loser in the ASX 200 benchmark index. Towards the market close, Woolworths Group shares declined by 3.43%. Moving on now, digital payments company Novatti Group soared close to 46% to hit a record high of 0.71.5 cents after partnering with Afterpay on a payments card. The Novatti Group will let the buy now pay later firm issue Afterpay-branded Visa cards in its digital wallet for use in New Zealand. The 3-year agreement will see Novatti generate further revenue and value from existing assets. Novatti trading volumes were reported more than 12 times on Thursday. Towards the session end, the Novatti Group shares soared as high as 30.612%. That's all for now. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. live from Sydney. I'm Rachel signing off for Kalkine TV.